Don't you know that there are more than 300 direct prophecies in the New Testament deals with the second coming of Christ? God's plan is being rapidly consummated. In Matthew 24, Jesus speaks about the signs before His second coming. These signs will cause an increase in pain and sorrows that Jesus compared to a woman as she goes through her pregnancy and is about to give birth. When a pregnant woman begins the birthing process, the pain is less severe and the birth contraction has several minutes apart. However, the closer she gets to the birth of a child, the more frequent of the contractions are and the pain is more intense. In using this analogy, Jesus is saying that the closer the word gets to the end of the age, the more frequent and severe of the signs will be. Then the disciples asked Jesus about the signs of the second coming and the end of the world. Let's watch this.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying,
Tell us, what shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Jesus mentioned 5 specific signs that he called the beginning of sorrows. Evidence shows that the level of intensity and frequency of these signs occurrences continually increasing in the 20th century, which would lead us to conclude that we are living in the beginning of sorrows time frame. There will be an increasing number of false prophets proclaiming themselves to be Christ. In the 20th century, there have been more people claiming to be Christ than ever before in history. Since the year 1900, over 1,100 false Christs have appeared on the scene, proclaimed themselves as messiahs. In addition to that, the New Age movement believes that the path of Christhood or Christ consciousness can be pursued and attained by anyone. The New Age teaches that Jesus Christ of the Bible is not God, but a human being who attained Christ consciousness just like Buddha, Krishna, and Muhammad. One website states that many people on earth have attained some degree of Christhood. Another website states that there are 10,000 people on planet Earth who have manifested a high degree of personal Christhood at inner levels and millions of people who have manifested a high degree of Christhood. The second increasing will be an increasing number of war. The frequency and intensity of wars increased in recent years. The 20th century was dominated by wars and conflicts and was the bloodiest century of warfare in human history. World War I was one of the deadliest conflicts in history, with the number of casualties reaching about 16.5 million people died, both military and civilian, and about 20 million people were wounded. Then followed by World War II, the largest and bloodiest war in history. It has been estimated that during the 7 years of World War, the number of military and civilian death and casualties 55 million total. Today, there are at least 35 nations with nuclear weapons. The United States and Russia alone having a total of 12,000 strategic nuclear warheads and about 48 smaller tactical nuclear weapons. The combined total of both superpowers, nuclear power equaling a total of about 1,350,000 Hiroshima-sized bombs. This world will be destroyed by fire, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the element shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. 2 Peter 3 verse 10. The third increasing will be an increasing number of famine. During the 1920s to 1930s, about 16 to 17 million people died from famines in Europe and the Soviet Union alone. Stephen Devereaux has done extensive research on famines. He made this statement saying, with up to 70 million estimated deaths, the 20th century was the worst ever in terms of famine and mortality. Another increasing in the last days will be the increasing number of pestilence. In 1340 to 1771, bubonic plagues leaves 75 to 200 million deaths around the world, followed by the Spanish flu or influenza in 1918 to 1919. Next was polio from 1900 to 2000, that followed by SARS, S1N1, malaria, MERS, and Ebola. In 1970, HIV or AIDS virus was introduced into human and became the #1 killer in 1992. Who estimates 30 million to 40 million in the year 2000. And now we have COVID-19 killing hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Other top killer diseases are heart disease, cancer, stroke, and cirrhosis of the liver. There will be an increase in the frequency and intensity of earthquakes. Earthquakes are definitely on the increase. Between the years 526 AD and 1896, there were only 31 known major earthquakes worldwide. Approximately 2,693,000 people died in that 1,370-year period from those 31 earthquakes. During this century, however, there have been over 56 major earthquakes in which over 2 million people have died. From 1900 to 1950, there were 50 major earthquakes occurs. From 1951 to 1999, there were 5,325 major earthquakes. The record clearly shows increase of frequency and intensity of earthquakes, which is the clear signs that we are living in the last day. How should we respond to all of this? When Jesus comes, there won't be time to get saved or to get right, and He could return at any moment to make all things new. The signs of the times are all around us. Labor pains are a minute apart. Are you ready for His second coming? Thank you for watching. This is Hope Lifter, always saying that those who hope in the Lord shall renew their strength. We will soar on wings like eagle. We will run and not grow weary. We will walk and not be faint. God bless you.